this is a bit of news that is so massive that it's kind of difficult to even like grasp. But basically, and I don't know how to put this, okay? Basically, right now, Elon Musk and a small group of Zoomer tech bros have entered the federal government and are directly tweaking with the levers of power. Congress no longer exists. Elon Musk is he's not even the president. He's like a god. He's like a sultan, perhaps. And he is just directly, illegally doing whatever he wants. One of the things he's doing is shutting down USAID. A bunch of USAID employees just can no longer access the server by which they like logged in and registered their work. There's no like legal process by which this is happening. It's just like he's just directly fiddled with the wires and shut it down. Like that no one else is being given access to this. With what authority? He's the wealthiest man on earth.
We turn now to Elon Musk and what's being described as a hostile...
This is, by the way, like a coup. Like, this isn't legal, not that that matters. It's not constitutional, not that that matters. It is, without exaggeration, like a coup of the United States. Like, an impartial history book reading of this in the future will be like, and then with no pushback, the wealthiest man on earth stepped into the federal government and did whatever he wanted. Congress is trying to get into the USAID building. Yeah, and they're being blocked. Second coup in the last 4 years. No. The first one was a coup attempt. This is a coup. He won. They won. Like, when I said we don't have a democracy anymore, were people under the impression that I was being like euphemistic? They're just in the bit. Like, there's no procedural safeguard.
Takeover of a government agency. Musk has also been given access to the massive federal payment system, which includes...
He has not been given access. He seized control of it and fired the person who told him no, he couldn't access it.
Includes Social Security payment information. ABC's Christian Cordero has the latest on this. Christian, good morning.
Andrew, good morning. Elon Musk accessing the federal payment system and taking over agencies is raising legal questions. At issue is funding already approved by Congress now on the chopping block. Overnight, sources confirming that Elon Musk has been given access to the U.S. Treasury Department's vast payment system. The move essentially puts the government's multi-trillion-dollar checkbook in the hands of the world's richest man, and his message about wasteful government spending has been clear.
Your money is being wasted, and the Department of Government Efficiency is going to fix that.
How much do you think
This is fascist propaganda, by the way. The framing of this as anything other than a coup is fascist propaganda. That's objectively what it is. There's literally no ambiguity about it. It's legally a coup. It's definitionally a coup.
So, Rev, we also have some breaking news this morning. We talked earlier in the show about USAID, its uncertain fate. We've just confirmed an email went out early this morning to staff saying, do not come in. Headquarters will be closed this morning. You are to work remotely. And Elon Musk is saying in his spaces last night, said that Donald Trump agreed with him to shut down the entire agency. Congress should have a say in there. They've been mute so far. Give us your reaction, though, as we know what good, both strategically and in terms of humanitarian terms, this agency does. Today, it's not open.
Strategically, it is very detrimental to the interests of the country.
I want to talk about that, too, how shutting down USAID hurts America, like, enormously. But first, you have to get, like, this isn't the only thing that's taken place here. But, like, again, you got to understand, Musk has no security clearance relevant to this, and neither are the people that he's with. He literally just walked in there, did what he want. No one can get in. He's untouchable. I'm trying to think of an example or like a comparison that'll suit the minds of the kind of people who watch me. He's like a celestial dragon from One Piece. Does that work? Like, that's the level we're talking about. Like, yeah, he's going in there, plugging in external hard drives. He's setting up private servers at the Department of the Treasury. It's mafia shit. No. That's so far below what's happening. Like, we are experiencing like the American equivalent of when media went dark in Russia, and people woke up to see Putin was president. Like, we're talking about like I don't even know what the appropriate comparison would be. Marco Rubio is taking over USAID. But apparently he's delegated that authority, immediately delegated it, which means in practice, this is like the co-opting of the coup. Like, this is the Trump administration going like, Elon has done the damage, now we're here to pick up the pieces and, like, you know, sweep it under the rug. Elon broke it, now we're here to, like, establish. Elon Musk lays out plans for Doge's cost-cutting and late-night freewheeling conversation on Twitter. That's great. Jesus, man. On Twitter. I guess I don't know. I don't really know how to describe it, to be honest with you. Donald Trump defends granting Elon Musk access to payment systems of the U.S. Treasury. So yeah, the way that Elon is like directly tapping into this is that he couped the Treasury Department. In the Treasury Department, the job of the Treasury Department, among other things, is to handle the disbursement of money from the United States federal government, which is trillions of dollars every year. Elon now has direct access to that. He's setting up external servers. Other people with no security clearances are in there. They have access to Social Security data, medical records, financial records. All the information the Treasury Department has is now held by a collection of private individuals handpicked by Elon Musk who have infinite power within the Treasury Department to do whatever they want or allocate funds however they want.
Why is it important for Elon Musk to have access to the payment systems at Treasury?
Well, he's got access only to letting people...
Isn't this much worse than whatever Putin does? Yeah, it is. Like, people are saying it's Russia now. No, that's not even close. Russia is controlled by oligarchs, but Russia, like, in a functional sense, like, you have a lot of graft and corruption at the top level, but Russia operates, like, the departments operate as they're meant to. This would be like if there was some random oligarch who was above Putin, but had no official authority, who just wandered in and did whatever he wanted and everyone else covered for him. It's like a level, it goes beyond just oligarchy. It's like a level of institutional corruption and complacency and vulnerability that goes beyond... It's more corrupt than, like, Russia or China. I'll say that much. We're more in, like, I don't know, sub-Saharan African warlord territory. If we want to do the classic American thing where anytime things go bad in America, we're like, this is like when brown or black people have a thing, you know? Like, if we want to draw a comparison there, that's the thing I would point to.
So no good if we agree with him, and it's only if we agree with him. He's a very talented guy from the standpoint of management and costs, and we put him in charge of seeing what he can do with certain groups and certain numbers. Some of the numbers are horrible, what he's found. Think of it, $100 million on condoms to Hamas.
This is, I mean, obviously this is just a lie, but who cares? Remember when it was 50 million when Carolyn Levitt said it and she was lying then, but now it's 100 million?
Condoms to Hamas, and many other things that are frankly even more ridiculous. And they're finding tremendous waste, really waste more than anything else, I think you could say. Probably fraud and abuse could be added to it, the more standard waste, fraud, and abuse. But they're finding tremendous amounts of really...
Why is it important for Elon?
In case you're wondering how institutionally complicit the Trump administration is, right over here, from Edward Martin Jr. from the Department of Justice. Dear Elon, it was good to work with the Doge team this weekend. We must keep all our American government employees safe, and we must protect the American people's property. Anyone imperiling others violating our laws. I recognize that some of the staff at Doge have been targeted publicly. At this time, I ask you utilize me and my staff to assist in protecting the Doge work and the Doge workers. Any threats, confrontations, or other actions in any way that impact the work may break numerous laws. Remember, the Doge team is just a group of handpicked yes men from Elon. They're not like workers or anything. They're literally just guys Elon brought in. So the Department of Justice is actively saying anyone who impedes you will go after. Let me assure you this, we will pursue any and all legal action against anyone who impedes your work or threatens your people. We will not act like the previous administration who looked the other way as the Antifa and BLM rioters, as well as thugs with guns, trashed our capital city. We will protect, he means BLM. We will protect Doge and the other workers no matter what. One other warning for you. Late last week, we indicted an economist who worked at the Fed for economic espionage for the communist Chinese. So that's about the level we're at. Clown world? It's a coup. Very unambiguously. Looks at China, perhaps I judge you too harshly. China's looking real good right now. If he becomes enough of a threat, do you think the FBI is going to step in? Are you looking at the document from the U.S. Department of Justice that we're looking at right now? They're purging the FBI right now. One of the senior officials at the FBI refused to hand over a list of everyone who was involved in the J6 investigations. So they're apparently doing like person-by-person interviews. Why hasn't American society collapsed if Bro has full access? Why isn't he cutting everything? It's only been 2 weeks. It takes a long time to break something this big. But he's working on it. Wasn't Elon posting that he was like directly cutting funding to like the Lutheran Church because the Lutheran Church had gotten money from the federal government to process and integrate migrants and immigrants and stuff? They were ordered to reveal Jan 6 probes 3 p.m. today, or just 9 minutes ago. Oh, that's great. FBI staff ordered to reveal their role in Jan 6 probes by Monday. Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay, so that's like that just happened. That's cool. So yeah, that's how things are going. This country does not have a future. Thousands of FBI agents worked on the J6 investigations. They were just assigned there. It wasn't like a choice they made. They're going after everyone. Here's an article about Elon Musk cutting payments to the Lutheran Church. Yeah, it's so like it's not even like, this feels like Chinese century territory to me. You know what I mean? U.S. aid constituted a tiny fraction of our budget, but it offered us immense power over the rest of the world. Look, giving food to starving children is great and all, and the people who worked for USAID were good people, but that's not why Congress funded it. Congress funded it because, as it turns out, America gets a lot of soft power from being able to single-handedly hold up humanitarian aid to like dozens of poor countries. It actually makes America like really good, and a lot of people lean on us for that. It's like the Chinese Belt and Road Initiative, but it was so low effort from our perspective. A few tens of billions a year, and we maintain global soft power hegemony. Now we don't even have that. Musk team is kids. They have like 5 years of experience all between them. Yeah, we'll talk about that. I feel like talking about them is going to be like a federal crime soon. It's literally like 19 to 24-year-olds. A lot of them are Nazis. And Elon banned somebody on Twitter for saying their names. That's one of them, by the way. He's dressed about how I would expect him to be. Shit is moving fast, yeah. Massive protests have erupted in front of the USAID building following Trump and Elon's unlawful attempts to shut USAID down. Well, they're not attempts, they succeeded.
Frozen until a waiver was thrown together after the fact. Let me say that again. Prisoner guards overseeing thousands of ISIS combatants walked off the job. This is real life. This is frozen.
That's great, man.
Until a waiver was thrown together after the fact. Let me say that again.
There are still the offices overseas and embassies. Yeah, but you have to understand, like, Elon controls the disbursement of finances now. Like, Congress doesn't matter anymore. Frankly, neither does the presidency. Like, Elon is directly interfering in the disbursement of the finances.
Breaking overnight, workers at the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, in Washington were told to stay home.
Trump can still say no, fuck off, but that's about it. But he's in favor of it. He doesn't care.
This morning, the main office closed. They received an email shortly after midnight telling them, don't come in. This is the latest development on the future of USAID after both President Trump and, maybe more importantly, Elon Musk said it needed to be shut down.
It's been run by a bunch of radical lunatics, and we're getting them out. USAID.
Keep in mind, like, again, USAID has been supported in a bipartisan sense for decades. Like, USAID is a tool of American soft hegemony. Like, we fund it because it gives us power. Obviously, a lot of the people who work for USAID are nice humanitarians, and they're, you know, they're gay and they're nice and so on. But we do it because it gives us soft power.
Run by radical lunatics, and we're getting them out.
And I really do think the reason why they're talking about it this way and the reason why Elon went after it so directly is because of black people in South Africa. I really do think that. 100%.
We'll make a decision.
All right, let's get to CNN's Jennifer Hansler at the State Department for the latest on this. You helped break this news about the email overnight. What have you learned?
Well, John, this is just the latest in a string of developments that indicate that Trump intends to abolish the U.S. Agency for International Development. We had that notice that went out overnight to employees not to show up to headquarters. You heard those comments from Trump. And as you noted, Musk has also demonized the U.S. Agency for International Development. He has played an outsized role on this administration's decisions on federal agencies. And he hosted a Spaces on X overnight to go after the agency, criticizing it for alleged misuse of funds.
Not beating the shadow president allegations, you know? Man, my initial hope was that Elon might be irritating enough that it kind of bruised Trump's ego, but I don't think Trump has an ego anymore. Remember what I said a few streams ago? Like, my hope was that his ego would be volatile and it would cause issues because Elon's really annoying. But it seems like Trump's just an empty puppet. You know, he might as well be like gone. There's like no point, basically. A broken mule. Exactly.
I'm Senator Andy Kim from New Jersey.
Kim!
About 20 years ago, when I first came to work for the federal
Progressive
government,
Victory fought to get this guy elected.
Doors right behind me. I was started off my career in public service at USAID, and I just have to say how proud I was to be able to serve the country, how proud I was to work for USAID, to be part of the foreign policy of this country. And I have to tell you, it was really tough today walking through these same doors 20-some years later, only to see it shut down to employees. Now, I got all weekend long, I was getting calls and phone calls from people that I worked with at USAID before, people that are there now, people who have been disrespected by this administration that pushes them to the side, basically calls them criminals, and tells them not to show up to work today. In fact, I went inside trying to speak to the acting administrator, Gray. Unfortunately, was not able to meet with him, and I'm going to continue to try today to be able to meet with the acting administrator because I want to hear straight from him.
This shit is so crazy, it's hard to express. It is, and I again, like, I understand that I often engage in fanciful hyperbole because I think it's funny. I don't regret that at all. However, I do need people to understand that what's happening right now is, without exaggeration, the most insane coup to happen in the developed world in modern history. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. In like a developed democratic country, this is the most by far, and that's not even close either. Like, nothing even remotely compares. The pace at which this administration is moving makes the Nazi takeover of Germany look slow and plodding by comparison. Hell, it makes Stalin's takeover after the death of Lenin look slow and plodding by comparison. We're 2 weeks in, and Elon literally brought in like a team of groomed groypers to fiddle with the direct strings of the U.S. Treasury, and they're shutting down. Like, nothing. There's just no comparison. America is the most cucked country in history. All this wealth and power, and all of it. What institutions? You know, it meant nothing. It meant nothing.
These are the orders that he gave. You know, you have mysterious people within this new administration sending out emails across the entirety of USAID telling them not to show up. I talked to this. I talked to the security guard. I talked to the security guard just in there. He said he has been given specific orders.
What's a short and sweet way to explain this to my non-political friends and family? A group of unelected, anonymous, no security clearance individuals handpicked by the world's wealthiest man have entered the federal government, fired everyone who stands in their way, and illegally and unconstitutionally seized power over the Department of Treasury in order to threaten agencies and bully them into non-existence by directly controlling the disbursement of funds without Congress, violating the constitutional role of Congress as the manager of the purse, and completely bypassing any political process. It would be no different than in a practical sense, like, it would be no different if a god stepped down from the heavens and just walked in and did what he wanted. That is how little institutional oversight there is. That's how like removed from the process this is. It literally, like, you literally could just have Grand Vizier or the Sultan, you know, Emperor step in. It doesn't matter. That's it. There's no comparison. It's unprecedented in American history. It's unprecedented in the history of the democratic West. In Western civilization, it might even be unprecedented. There have been dictatorships before. This is something else.
Orders to prevent employees of USAID from entering the building today. And I just find that to be absolutely ridiculous. You know, this is no way to govern. This is no way to treat public servants. And this is no way for us to conduct our foreign policy as a country. So I just had to show up today, see it with my own eyes, you know, the chaos of this administration and just their attacks upon public servants in our country.
What recourse does Congress have? It doesn't seem like any, Republican senators are really speaking
up
about how this is being handled. Do you sort of foresee Congress taking any action to?
Well, I certainly hope Congress takes action because what is happening here is illegal. It is unacceptable to have a president try through executive power be able to reorganize or remove.
Do you think we'll even see fair midterms next year? We are currently in the running to not have an election in 2026, or to not have a meaningful one. Like, things are progressing so quickly and so violently that it, like, legitimately, right, if an election were to be held right now, it would not be a real one. Like, Elon could literally, at this point, just change the ballot total. Like, Elon could literally just walk in to Congress during the certification of the votes and say no. And that would be that. And the Republicans would agree with him.
USAID. This is an entity that was created through federal statute, codified through federal statute, and something that cannot be changed, cannot be removed, except through actions of Congress. So the idea that they are moving forward in this way without any notification to us about trying to change federal statute, just shows how much of a power grab this is. So yes, I do hope that Congress, I certainly want to go back to the Capitol today, engage with my colleagues and see what
they could start disappearing opponents. I wouldn't be surprised if they started disappearing certain people soon. The DOJ is literally like drooling. That letter we just looked at with that guy who was like, Elon, anyone who stands in the way of your hand-picked Doge employees, I'll go after them. Anyone who impedes them. They have no legal authority to do anything. There's no legal pretext for defending their ability to do anything because everything they're doing is already illegal.
Stand up for the American people. Stand up for our laws.
What message do you send to those employees that were not allowed or were escorted in and then escorted out? And we even heard from some of them that they're worried about the repercussions this could have worldwide.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I tell the staff of the...
Bosch is sensationalizing so much right now. You can tell yourself that. I understand that's like a comforting thing to believe in times like this, and there's nothing... I'm not really interested, I guess, in dispersing, or disabusing you of that notion. But, like, I don't know.
USAID, I'm sorry for what's happening to them. Guys, I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart. As someone who was so proud to work at USAID, my very first job in the federal government was right here at USAID, and the fact that these employees are being demonized.
Look at this asshole smug face.
Wait,
what the fuck will you say Kim for?
It's a criminal organization from Elon Musk.
Senator Kim is fine.
The fact that they're being told not to show up, that the federal aid is being frozen, I mean, it's just such disrespect. They deserve better. They are public servants. They swear an oath to serve this country, and right now they are being treated as if they're the criminals.
Talking about this without proposing and showing the example of organization and protesting and direct action is kind of useless at best. That is, respectfully, you're about to get torn into. I'm going to read what you said out loud one more time so that people have context for the mean things I'm going to say to you. I mean, I kind of agree with this streamer. I have a name. Not that anyone uses it, that what is happening is pretty bad, but talking about this without proposing and showing the example of organization and protesting and direct action is kind of useless at best. You are virtue signaling. You are in a live streamer's chat. We are talking about the rapid collapse of the rule of order in the federal government. There's nothing your protests can do about it. It is literally beyond your power to do anything. Reporting on the news is virtuous in its own right. Knowing what is going on, that is a good thing. It is good to know. What, I have to amend everything that we learn about the collapse of this country has to be followed up with. And by the way, make sure to organize with your local Antifa group to disperse, food resources to those who needs it. Pizza parties at 5. Like, come on. You're virtue signaling. You want to think you're better than liberals. I see right through you. You're transparent to me. You're like a sheet of wax paper. Okay? You want to feel better than the liberals who are watching this and despairing. You know what? You're not. You're actually worse than them because at least they're honest in their degree of participation and awareness. Okay? You're out here pretending you're better than despairing over the news. And you're not. There are a bunch of people protesting outside the closed USAID office, which is good. Is this the guy saying he'll withhold nominee or stall Trump nominees? Yes. Democratic senator says he'll stall Trump nominees until USAID is back. From Hawaii. Over the weekend, Doge staffers forced their way into USAID's headquarters in Washington, gaining access to classified information and closing the building to employees on Monday. I still feel like people don't understand how insane this is. It's literally a group of civilians handpicked by an oligarch who forced their way in and won't let anyone else in. It's a total black box. We have no idea what's going on in there. They're setting up private servers. They're connecting like outside servers to federal computers. What do you expect? Half this country thinks tariffs make things cheaper. Most of the country doesn't know what's going on right now. Oh, here's the guy who beat out AOC.
It is
the
lead
74-year-old
in the world
with cancer.
and no one elected Elon Musk to dismantle it. We are going to fight in every way we can, in the courts, in public opinion, with the bully pulpit, in the halls of Congress, and here at AID itself. We are not going to let this injustice happen. Congress created this agency with the Foreign Assistance Act of 1961. And if you want to change it, you got to change that law. It is a matter of statute. It's a matter for Congress to deal with, not an unelected billionaire oligarch named Elon Musk.
That's great, man. Oh, Ilhan Omar was there. I mean, you saw her in the background.
We talked about
finally
Trump
a good volume.
Wanting to be a dictator on day one, and here we are. This is what the beginning of dictatorship looks like. When you gut the Constitution and you install yourself as the sole power, that is how dictators are made. What Trump and Elon and all of their cronies are trying to do is take away the constitutional power of Congress. We get to decide. We have the power of the purse. We get to decide where money is allocated, and it's the executive's power to make sure that that money gets to where it needs to get. When we talk about civil servants being let go,
do something about it then, Congress, send in the Congressional Police or National Guard. Who do you think controls the National Guard? You know I love me some Democrat criticism, but like we might be in a it's over kind of deal. Right now it's like the hope moving forward is that they break things so badly that it's not possible for them to govern. This is my accelerationist pledge.
We are talking about is not saving money. It's essentially saying they can get paid while they're home and their work doesn't get done on behalf of the American people. It is us, taxpayers, who are being ripped off. It is us, taxpayers, who are not getting the resources that we paid into.
I hate that accelerationists were right. They weren't. They might be now, though. Kind of a different dynamic.